So I've been seeing a lot of mentions online about these multifunction testers. So I went ahead and purchased one off Amazon. I bought this one here, this LCR TC1. They seem to be numerous brand names for the exact same thing. So they all look exactly the same, and from what I can tell are running pretty much the same version of the software. The idea behind these is you drop a component in and press the start button or test button, and it goes off and tells you if the component is good, or identifies the component really. I guess if it can't identify it, then it must not be good. So I went ahead and got this one yesterday. I thought we'd take a look at it to see if it's worth the 22 bucks. Really what caught my eye was that it supposedly supports ESR. So ESR is equivalent series resistance in a capacitor. And it's one of the indicators of whether a capacitor is good or not. So you can look at the capacitance, and the capacitance might be good, but the ESR might be off the charts, in which case that's pretty much indicative of a failing capacitor, and it's the problem. I fixed a number of devices recently, and in one of them I had to pull out a cap because it had a failing ESR. So anyway, I bought one of these for 22. I thought it would be worth playing around with and sharing with you the experience. If you look on Amazon, you'll see that there's other ones. This one's about $10 more. What I thought was interesting about this one is if you look, the ZIF socket, this little green device here, plugs in and can be removed. That might be kind of nice. It also has a separate test button. The software looks slightly different in this one also. But if you go back and look at the one I purchased, it also has this IR indicator on it. So we're going to try that out. What I believe it's going to do is you'll be able to take something that communicates through infrared, like a remote control, point it at it, and you should be able to get some of the codes. You should be able to see what code is being sent via the remote control. So that would be kind of cool too for some future projects. So let's head over to the bench and take a look at the one I got, and we'll see what I think about it. So this is the one I purchased off Amazon. It came nicely packaged, had electrostatic bagging, all great. The one thing I noticed that I wasn't real happy about was it had a plastic screen cover protecting the screen, and when I took it off, you can kind of see it had scratches on it. So in their ultimate wisdom, somebody scratched it, then put a scratch protector on it and shipped it anyway. Now, to be honest with you, it's somewhat irritating, but it's not that big of a deal. I probably would have scratched it anyway on my bench. The way it works is it's got a LiPo inside, it's got a charger, came with a little, very, very small baby charging cable. Came with some connectors, and it actually came with a capacitor, one capacitor, which I guess was to play with to show that it works. I don't know. So basically you turn it on, and you can see the screen here, and it wants you to put a part in. Now the way it works is you have, these are numbered here, and as long as you put the part in and you don't put any of the leads into the same number, they're all, so 1 and 1 are wired together. So 1, 1, 1 is wired together. Same with 2, 3s. So you wouldn't want to do that. So if let's say that we take a capacitor. It doesn't seem to matter the orientation, even though this is an electrolytic. It does say discharge first. Go ahead and press the start button. It goes into a testing mode. And it says that this capacitor is 10.21 microfarads. And if you notice, it does have the ESR. So to me, that's actually a pretty cool thing to have an ESR meter on such a cheap device. I have an ESR meter that cost me, I would say, 3 times this, and that was a cheap one. So this cap is actually 10 microfarad. This cap is 4.7 microfarads. Let's test this one out. So what is it saying? That it is 4,215 nanofarads. So I kind of wish it would, you know, shift the decimal place over and change the units to 4.2 microfarads, but I guess you get what you get. We can try a BJT in it. This is a 2N222. Okay, that's cool. Yep, it detects it. It is an NPN. It's, yeah, 235, a beta of 205 to show you some other specs. You can kind of see how I put it in. I just put it in those first three, which is 1, 3, 2, and then it identifies what is the base, what is the collector, and what is the emitter. So I guess that could be helpful before you use the part if you aren't sure about how it's set up. This is a, let's see, this is a diode. So in this case, I'm going to put it in 1 and 2, like a big wide gap here. I just want to see what happens. All right, yep, it identifies the anode and the cathode, so that's nice. Let's try a couple more parts. It's neat. This is a resistor, obviously. We will put it in same kind of thing, 1 and 2, and then we'll press test. So what is that? Red, red, brown, 220 ohms. It seems like it takes a little longer, but there you go. What do we got? 216 ohms. Yep. I got a couple other parts here. Let's see, what is this one? This is a triac. It says it'll do triacs. That might be a bad triac. We'll try it anyway in just a second. So this is a MOSFET. So let me drop that in there. All right, so yeah, that's a logic level, shows RDS, shows gate, drain, and source. That's nice. Okay, so let's just try this triac. I think this is a bad triac. All right, so it shows it as a resistor. Yeah, I don't know that this triac is actually any good. But you kind of get the idea. It does not do ICs. I wish it did. That would be really cool. If you could drop in CMOS or, you know, TTL types of devices and have it identify, that would be really cool. Yeah, that would be more than, I'd be more than happy with it if it could do that. So for 22 bucks, I'm more than content with the expense, and it seems to work pretty good. I think you just have to pay attention to what you're reading, understand obviously the components that you're looking at, but I think it probably has a really good place on people's bench. Let's try the IR function. So if we turn it on and I grab a remote, I've got a remote right here, I'm going to press the volume up, point it and press volume up. Oh, that is cool. Okay. So it shows me the user code. I'm going to press the down. Yep, and it changed. So that's the volume up, volume down. I'm going to hit the power off button. All right, that's cool. Actually, that could be just helpful, you know, figuring out for projects where you want to hook into some kind of remote control or something that uses IR. That's neat. All right, so the build quality, you know, it's the build quality. It's better than 3D printed. Probably blow molded or something. I'm not gonna pull a Ben Heckendorn and lick it. He has this habit of licking the plastic to tell you what it is. I don't have that skill. But for 22 bucks, I got it shipped for free, Prime. I would say it's worth it. It looks pretty cool. Seems to work. You saw what it could do. It'll do inductors also. And it'll also do power, supposedly. So if you were to check a battery or something, it should tell you that. In fact, let me try it. So I will turn on my power supply, and let's just put a couple volts into it. And let me put a couple pins or something on it. I don't know. So I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm going to go 2. That one doesn't want to work. I guess that's what you get when you get cheap stuff. All right. Try the other one. Wow. All right, that one works, kind of. Yeah, I would not think that your clips here are the best ones in the world. Let me press and see if it determines anything. I think it's a Zener, so I don't know. Maybe you have to put it in some other place. But what I was really doing here was putting 3.8 volts into it. So there is a manual. It's not linked into the Amazon page. At least I didn't see it, but I will put it down below so you can look at it. And there, it does show a number of examples. It says that the button has a long and short push. I can't tell that there's a long push. I don't know what it's supposed to do. I've pushed it, tested it numerous times, couldn't get any different behavior from it. Anyway, so there you go. 22 bucks, I'd say it's worth it. So if you don't have one, you might want to get yourself one. All right, remember, learn something new every day. Have fun, guys. See you next time.